witnesses the sins that we think are secret. That's what this thing is all about. In order to build the nation of Israel back, guess what? Believe it or not, it starts with strong marriages.
Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ, blessed on Officer David here from IUIC Tallahassee. All right, and so we're down here in Albany, Georgia, bringing out the Word of God. All right, speaking on a panel. All right, it's being held here. All right, the Word of God is going to be going out. The flyers will be passed out. The different speakers are going to be speaking. The Dr. Boyce Watkins, the Brother Rizza, from the Nation of Islam. And then on the coach on the D-Love. All right, it's some health and wellness coach. So I want to stay tuned. Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ.
A twofold message. I am a man, which is we're letting people know that we are equal to them.
Telling me I'm only less with more like I'm a king. When the truth came out back out, who did it big? Woo! Scripture flipping like a frisbee. Let them licking on their biscuit. I can tell what they missing. Wisdom off in the distance. If you ain't get it, it was never meant it. The spirit probably never bear witness. If it did, you would roll with us. We the chosen, we the go-getters. This one here for the heathens. We the new.
Being that my son is in the Extra Boys program, I'm a huge supporter of King. I love what he's doing for the boys. Making men great again, and it starts with them by them being so young in age. I'm a huge supporter, so I'm very excited about tomorrow and what tomorrow's going to bring.
Most people know me from running a youth organization here in the city of Albany, working with children. My biggest thing is, men being the lives of our children. And so working with so many children who don't have any dads, my biggest thing was to go ahead and start something for men to be able to do. And I did it 1 year in January 2020. I had about 400 men show up that year. So we're doing it again this year. We're bringing a lot of notable people out, a lot of people from different places, all over the country. And I was just trying to make sure we come up with solutions. And the idea just simply came from wanting to see something that I didn't see being done. My biggest thing was I wanted to bring men from all across the country, different ideologies, different religions, etc., and bring them all together so we can come up with solutions for our community, for our people. I think that's one of the biggest things that we can do, no matter what we all different, believe in differently. I think that most of us want the same solutions, and that's for our communities to be better. So for the people that I believe want our communities to be better, I brought everybody together, whether they be in the Nation of Islam, IUIC, Christians, everybody. I just want to bring everybody in on one accord and come up with some solutions for our community and show people where we all actually can agree. Just appreciate you guys coming out. I appreciate IUIC, man. Everything I have, every time I ask y'all to come somewhere, you're always there. So I definitely appreciate the organization.
Don't cave, I don't back down. Standing tall, I'm like, yeah. They behave when I come round. All my boys be like, yeah. I am back to God mode, now it's on now. No longer a slave, so now it's on now. Giving back my kingdom, now it's on now. You can see it in my eyes, it's going down. I remember everything they did in slavery. I can see it crystal clear, no longer playing me. They had me locked up in shackles, knew I wouldn't behave. They put stripes on my back, cause I knew my name.
On your website, you call yourself an intellectual extremist with a mission to help educate, uplift, empower, and feed physically and mentally the brothers and sisters of the communities most forgotten. Explain to us, what do you mean by those forgotten communities, and what are you feeding them?
Yes, sir, good question. Well, first of all, again, I want to give a round of applause to everyone who is here. And again, all of those who are attending, please give yourselves a round of applause. It's Saturday morning. Most people are at a game right now, or hanging out, or probably still in bed. So I'm honored to be here. Thank you, my brother King Randall, and all those who have put this on. I'm going to say first thing, we as a people have been removed from our name, our language, our culture, our original practice of spirituality, our God. So as a lost people, we have to return back to those levels of knowledge and all ways, from spiritual all the way down. That is what I'm referring to. We are taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that the original people have been removed from all of these knowledges. And because of that, we have to work in an effort to bring them back, not by judging them, not by attacking each other, but by being an example of that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It's very simple, but we have different labels that we come under, we have different colors that we wear, we have different tribal expressions. But regardless of all of this, we are but one people. The enemy sees us as one people. We need to see ourselves as one people. And that's pretty much what that means.
Thank you for that, Dr. Watkins. Most of us know you through your business and financial endeavors, laying out strategies and models for time management, goal setting, and dealing with setbacks. But for a number of years, you have been on your own personal health journey, sharing your progress with the world via traditional and social media, SoundCloud, short video clips. Yes, brother, I do my research. Tell us about that journey. What prompted it, and what strategies that you apply to improving your health that we can all adopt and try to model today?
Okay, so I think the year was 2015, and I was in Atlanta, and I think when we were shooting a movie, it was called Democracy, a Black American Horror Story. And while I was there, I think my assistant said, you need to get more life insurance. And I said, okay. I looked at it, I said, yeah, you're right, I need to get some more insurance. And every black man, every black woman needs to have life insurance. It's not that expensive. So I called the company and I made an arrangement for the nurse to come by. And for the amount of insurance that I wanted, you know, they're not just gonna give it to you. They need to make sure you ain't gonna die next week. So they came, the lady came in, she's a nice lady, nice black woman who came to draw my blood and take my blood pressure and all this other stuff. And I remember she took my blood pressure, and then she got that look on her face, and she said, and I said, is everything okay? She said, let me take it again. And she took it again. And that was where she, looking out for me, you know, as a black man, said, you might want to like really look into this. And you know how blood pressure is for a lot of people. We just don't even think about it. A lot of us don't. You know, some of us do. Smart people do. I'm not always as smart as I want to be. And so that led me down a pathway of kind of accepting things like, well, okay, if you don't fix this, you might die. You know, and the thing about getting older is your brain doesn't age as fast as your body sometimes. I think a lot of us plus 40 types can identify with that. So you think you're younger than you are. You think you're 25 forever. And my father's 72. He still thinks he's 25 in his mind. That's what he says, you know, but his body tells him otherwise. So confronting my own mortality led me to say, okay, let's really rethink this, because you have to. If you don't, you could just die. So at that time, my wife, who I've been married to, we've been married a little over a year, but we've been dating for several years, many years. You know, she was the person that really looked out for me and forced me to change my lifestyle and pushed me to think outside of my box. You know, she said, why don't you go running with me? And I said, because I don't want to run. It makes my knees hurt. I'm fat. I don't want to run. And so she said, look, just run a little bit, you know. So I just did a little bit more. And then about a year and a half later, I didn't know, so I completed a whole marathon. And that was, I think, a scenario where sometimes you go up against the wall and it opens up a whole new reality, a whole new set of possibilities. I never thought I'd ever run a marathon. And it also led to a new way of thinking that really helped me understand that connection between health and wealth. Because I lived there. So that's been the journey, and the weight went down and everything else, and I would encourage everybody here to think about these things, because I don't think we always do. And if your family was like mine, that just wasn't the dominant conversation. You know, you drink the Kool-Aid with all the sugar in it. You know, you eat the fried chicken with all the grease and the fat and the salt in it. You know, because it tastes good. You know, and unfortunately, there's a dark side to that, and you got to keep that in mind.
Last night, we had this gathering of some of the participants, and good discussion, good fellowship, and then just a spontaneous, hey, let's go play basketball, sprang out. And I don't know if it was, I found it interesting, Dr. Watkins, that the two 40-year-olds did not go. We looked at our health, I know I did, and my physical health, and said, no, I'm not gonna be able to make it tomorrow if I go out there and play basketball. So I found that interesting. Mr. Israel.
Yes, sir. That's a funny story.
You are got a little size on you, big dude.
Yes, sir.
You played in the back room. You told us that you played some professional basketball.
Right.
Traveled around the world.
Yes, sir.
With that, there's a discipline that comes along with that to remain physically and mentally prepared, and so you can sustain that career. Talk to us a little bit about your athletic journey and some of the things that you've done and still continue to do to remain physically and mentally fit as you are.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, by the way. All right, thank you to Mr. King, all right, for putting on this event, man. It's well organized and everything. All right, I grew up in Central Florida, all right, on Winter Haven, Polk County. I don't know if y'all know it. All right. So I got a basketball scholarship to Ball State University up in Muncie, Indiana. All right, I played 4 years up there, and then upon graduation, I got a chance to play in the NBA for 3 years. The first year I played for the Memphis Grizzlies, the second year the Charlotte Bobcats, and then the third year for the Denver Nuggets. All right, during that time, all right, of course, it was roughly on the 350 to 400 jobs. All right, for all of the players around the world trying to make it. So getting that opportunity to play, all right, amongst the greatest whoever played was a great experience. All right, with that, I had to take my diet very seriously. All right, I couldn't just get up and eat the McDonald's every day like we do today. All right, and you go to McDonald's and Burger King, and so we see where it gets us as a people. All right, number one in all the bad diseases out there: diabetes, high blood pressure. All right, I'm dealing with it in my 40s, but in my 20s I wasn't. All right, I was in peak condition because I was on the strict. All right, after playing the NBA, I got a chance to go around the world and play in different countries, Italy, France and China, South America, different countries like that. All right, the same thing on what I seen over there. All right, and so they don't take the fast food as seriously as we do over here. All right, people cook a home-cooked meal with vegetables and on good foods. All right, we are so quick to settle as a people. All right, upon completion of my career, about 7 or 8 years ago, all right, I started to let myself go because who wants to get up and run all these miles every day, all right, and do all these sprints, and then I seen my health on a decline. All right, when I learned exactly who I am, who we are as a people, the so-called black man and Hispanic man, all right, we are the Israelites, all right, the Bible speaks of. So God gave us laws. All right, I started eating the pork once I quit playing. All right, I read the Bible that, hold on, the pork is unclean. So we're not supposed to put that in our body. All right, what do our people rely on today as the cheapest food? On the pork and everything. So what does that cause? On high blood pressure. All of these on heart diseases and stuff like that. So I realized the laws of God will clean us up as a people. But we got to come back to who we are first and actually start to follow the book. All right, because we do get guidelines. Yes, sir. One correction. All right, this isn't a religion. All right, and so we was given religion when we was brought over here in slavery. Okay, this is on how we're supposed to be, on to live in our heritage, on the way of life. All right, and God had gave us instructions. All right, I'll read that real quick.
The book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 25.
Read.
A cheerful and a good heart.
See that right there? A cheerful and a good heart, read.
Will have a care of his meat and diet.
Will have a care for his diet. All right, and so, all right, a lot of times we're eating these foods to comfort ourselves. But at the same time, it's killing us. All right, and so we see that oppression going on to our people. All right, on living in the slums at the bottom, can't get ahead on why is that? So on, you don't have a care for your diet. All right, on God, he termed you the greatest people on the planet Earth. But we disobeyed him. He was like, all right, I know we great on it, but we want to do our own thing. So he said, go do your own thing and see where it gets you. All right, it got us at the bottom of this society. So what do we got to do to reverse it? You got to realize who you are. See, they call you black. Black is a color. It's a color out of a crayon box. Or they call you African American. Okay, I ain't black no more. Call me African American. You come from two different places? Is that possible? Who are we? We are the Israelites of the Bible. We have instructions. And on the last scripture, real quick, and I'll pass it to you. Go to Deuteronomy 28 and 48. See, on this one we came out of Egypt, all right, out of slavery. Moses had brought us into the wilderness and he gave us the laws of God. And he gave us two choices, only two. You want to keep my laws, I'm going to bless you as a people. But if you break my laws, I'm going to put curses on you. Look around, people. We are living the curses of God on the place on us. All right, I'm going to read on one curse. I'm going to read that curse.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Start at 47.
Verse 47. Mm-hmm. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
See, we had that choice on it. We didn't want to do what God said. I don't want to serve you, God. I'm going to go and do my own thing and figure it out on my own. Read.
For the abundance of all things.
He gave us everything at our fingertips. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Okay, because you don't want to serve me, all right, I'm going to force you to serve the people who enslaved you. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
He sent them to come and get us off of the west coast of Africa from Spain and Portugal. All right, and ship us around the world. Read.
In
hunger, your food. All right, and we can spend on the $7 billion on Christmas. One holiday, a pagan holiday that is, $7 billion. But we can't get our own grocery stores and start our own farms, get a hospital or schools. We got to go to other people for our food and in thirst. In thirst, you pay a water bill but water fall out the sky for free. Read.
And in nakedness.
In clothes. We don't produce nothing here. Underwear, shirts, clothes, shoes. We don't produce nothing. So we got to go to the other people to get it. Read.
And in wants of all things.
Everything you want. A birth certificate. A death certificate. A driver's license. An education. Your religions. You have to go to the people God has sent against us. All right, we have to realize on what's going on, people. Go ahead.
Y'all give a round of applause. Come on. You go to the word, you keep it actual facts. And I'm gonna just say this, brother, because you brought up the mental health aspect. So let's put a question up in a box on Facebook that's titled, "What's on your mind?" This is an experiment that was conducted on us as a people by the people who we are not to be trusting in the first place. So when they did this, and I'm saying it because you brought up the mental health aspect, that's an area that I was fighting in for 15 years before I was exposed in the vaccine circumstance. This is not an accident whatsoever. The reason why, to your initial question, the 16%, over 6 million of us, have these mental issues. One, We have had this epigenetic transfer through our genetic code from the trauma that came from our great-great-grandparents during slavery. That's one. Number two, we have the traits and the death style that we have adopted from them that was passed down all the way down as well. So what we eat, how we operate, how the rampant circumstance of molestation and rape has been passed down from the enemies who did it to us, and now we do it to ourselves. The attacking of one another, the not trusting of one another, the abuse of our women, the abuse of our men, the abuse of our children. Now you have black men selling black women into sex trafficking. Now you have black men and black women helping to sell children into organ and sex trafficking. This is a situation that was manufactured. So when you're looking at it, the first thing we have to do is look at how crazy as hell we are. Raise your hand if you think you're not crazy at all. Okay, I just want to make sure we humble right now. We got, who raised his hand? Okay, good. In this world, you're a black man with a level of knowledge of self. You have some confidence about yourself. You crazy. See, again, that's the thing. The definition of crazy to us is different. In this world, when you actually stand up for yourself, you want to live a righteous life, you want to live healthy, you want to do what is right, you're considered crazy to a system that wants you to be docile and weak. Who the hell told you to have knowledge? Who the hell told you to be strong and intelligent? Who the hell told? No, you're supposed to be a nigga. That's what I wanted to make you into. We talking. We family, right? We talking. So the situation was manufactured and it was orchestrated and calculated to come out with this result. Black men who attack each other. That way we don't have to attack them anymore. Costs less money. Let's be real. Costs far less money. Black women who attack each other. Much easier. Children who don't trust their elders, who don't listen to their fathers, who don't listen to their mothers. That's easy. We got them now through social media. Social media was not, now I'm really harping on this point because it was not created so that you could talk to your cousin over in Ghana. It was not created so that I can talk to my brother over in Florida and I'm living in Cali. That is not why they created it. It was created as a way for them to psychologically manipulate a people in a way where we would do it ourselves. We would accept giving our own information out and then being manipulated by it, then get confused at why the hell my picture didn't get enough likes. I don't understand, I didn't get enough comments today. Then when a pandemic hits that was orchestrated partially, and then of course on the other end you have Satan and God, that whole situation because of us deviating, so you have a combination of the two. God allows certain things to happen, and this enemy then manipulates what God uses to his advantage and says, good, I'm gonna go ahead and take that and I'm gonna do what I can with it. So at that circumstance, you have a whole group of people who don't know anything about themselves. Most of this generation, they never really planned to play outside, hung out with each other, don't have any communication skills whatsoever. They were raised on social media. So they don't know nothing about what you mean. I can't do this. What you talking about? So I get on video games that desensitize me to killing each other. Am I correct so far? Yeah. Video games that show me I can kill a person over and over and over and over again, and you think that's not attacking their mind and making it easier for them to see death, so when it happens, you're not going to actually respond in real life because you have a hard time differentiating between fact versus fiction. Then we kill each other on a regular, and now when you have elders trying to talk to them, that's not being accepted because they're like, well, you an elder, you don't know nothing. I'm making money online right now. I'm a millionaire from drop shipping. I mean, there are layers to this thing. So when the COVID situation hit and the mental health circumstance, when you combine it, it is a people who do not value themselves because we don't know ourselves, pardon me. We don't eat right, and then we also don't know how to exercise our own judgment when it comes to relationships. Too many of us have trauma and therefore we don't communicate it. You talk to be a man is not supposed to express anything dealing with his emotions. A woman tried to express herself too much and so therefore she's closed off. She expresses herself to a random person versus her own family. You see, I mean, I'm jumping around with all of these things because it is a layered circumstance when it comes to our mental health. So yes, one, find a person that you can talk to and that you can trust. Raise your hand if you have at least one person that you can trust, you feel. At least one. Some people like, I don't got nobody. Okay, find somebody because that trauma that we have built up is internalizing and it is causing us to age faster. It is causing us to die very quickly. So we have to get that up off of us, number one. Number two, find alternative ways to relieve your stress. Exercise you have to do. Get fresh air, you must do that. Get off of social media for at least 2 to 3 hours a day. Get off of it.
And I appreciate and thank y'all for But I want to ask you, brother, what's your name? Brother Islam, how long have you been teaching, and how long have you been giving spiritual food from each one of you panels, if you don't mind?
I was born in the nation, but I'll say I'm always a student. So I've done my best to teach as best as possible, but I'm still a student. So I'll never claim to be the teacher. But I know what you're saying. So to the best of my ability, I've been doing my best to be an example since I was about 9 years old. I'm still striving, brother, just to do my best.
Here you go. So for myself, I've been in the walk for 8 years now. All right, after I finished playing basketball, I went into life, a lot of different things on trying to find a level of peace and understanding about why are we here. All right, not until I found out on my true nationality. I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. See, it's on the 12 tribes. All right, I'm from Jacob. All right, then I found that level of peace and comfort. All right, I did play in the NBA. I didn't find it there. All right, I had a lot of money. All right, I did a lot of wickedness. So you think, all right, man, this is my dream. But once you get that worldly dream, you find out it's a total nightmare. On the Biggie Smalls said, more money, more problems. I had all type of problems. All right, so yeah, all right, about 8 years.
More money, more problems. Well, speaking of money, that's kind of my thing. I've been teaching finance to college students for about 29 years. When I started my doctoral work at the University of Kentucky a while back. And the way the teaching shifted over time was, in the beginning when I was, say, 22 years old, it was by King Randall's age, actually. It was all about sort of teaching in the classroom, teaching finance. And then I started noticing the politics of race in America and kind of being confused by some stuff. And I always knew I was a black man. And so I started to express naturally things I observed as a black man, inequities that didn't make sense. So for example, at about 25, I remember writing articles when I was on the campus of the University of Kentucky. We had a great basketball team that was winning championships every year. And I said, these guys are generating $25 million a year for this university. Why are they not getting paid? How come the coach got the multi-million-dollar contract, but the guys on the court ain't getting nothing? And then I started noticing the radicalism of America, because that was when players would come to me and tell me that the basketball coaches had told them not to read my articles. And I remember even just basically with common sense saying, anybody who's blocking you from knowledge and information that could benefit you is not your friend. And so, or even other little things like, why is it that Antoine Walker is the star of the basketball team, but all of us as black students knew that he probably could not read? And then years later, you hear about Antoine going through $100 million and spending all of it. Well, it's because, there's a process. They're using these men, right? So that line of thinking, I just kind of kept going down that rabbit hole. And I just kind of concluded, I think that I'd rather go through my life being honest about who I am than trying to live some stupid lie or trying to pretend to be a white man with black skin. That's not who I am. I'm a black man, period. Or I am what I am, right? Whatever that is, right? Whatever God made me to be, that's what I am.
I touch upon all you gentlemen's ideas and understanding that when I grew up, the game was already rigged. So I am a personal miracle that you see standing here, because where I came from, a lot of people don't make it. It's like 2 to 3%, maybe 4%. They come out of where I come from. Just like you said, where you come from is $1 general sin. And so I would like for you gentlemen to give me an explanation or even a short statement about how the process goes and how to break that chain of being an old Negro and a new Negro.
As Farrakhan said, that the most difficult study is the mastery of self. We have to humble ourselves, elders and those who are younger. To be humble means you are aware of what you lack. So that means we have to find out what it is that I need to get better at, do better. How can I help others better? How can I increase in my spiritual health, mental health, physical health, financial, agricultural, learning my environment and my people, etc. We have to look at what is needed within ourselves and outside of ourselves in order to make our communities a decent and safe place to live. Switch from the Negro period into a man with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Hope that answers the question.
Good answer. Simply put, follow the laws of God. All right, it changes you. The laws of God will change you. On the Psalms 19:7 says, so the laws of God are perfect, converting your soul. So it will take the drug dealer, the murderer, the thief, and if you follow on the thou shalt not kill, on the thou shalt not steal, on the thou shalt not commit adultery, all right, it'll change the community overnight. All right, think about the abortions. Where does that come from? On fornication. Sleeping from woman to woman to woman. Okay, all right, I got to see my black sister as a wife now. I just can't take her, and I get tired, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna jump around. So you're creating baby mamas in the community. And trust me, on the women, I love you, but you can't raise a man on your own. Or it takes a man to raise a man. So it changes that Negro into who you're supposed to be.
Like I was saying, we are the people. We are the people that the Bible speaks of, you know, and to understand that the biggest thing they did to us was to God do. Father's Day, dancing on that, and when I went in there, it had to be everything. Place was packed, had the kids, and I told them, I speak to a lot of schools, I said, every time I come to a father's event, it's the best the kids are. Teach them how to do that. 1, 2, be quiet. They're just sitting there, they're attentive because it's something about black man's presence.
Y'all leave?
This ain't gonna be the last time. All right? We'll see each other. Yes, sir.
They gotta get a picture.
They were slaughtered in the town square because white people there perceived them as
I don't wanna be the greatest of all time, that's Jesus anyway. Plus I'd rather be a guy, ghost freeze up when afraid. This is all talk versus the all spark. We on our A game, aardvark plus all angels.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.